And good afternoon. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed. Matt Delvecchio here, specializing in home care and the senior living industry. Thanks for tuning into Life Unrehearsed, where we try to provide families and their loved ones throughout their aging process with resources and advice at a time where our healthcare system is really stretched to its limits. Coming up in the first half of our show, we're going to be discussing an interesting trend in how some families are engaging the services of a death doula for end of life. I'm also going to be discussing the power of female friendships, connecting to themes of mental health and resilience. And on the second half of the show, thinking about downsizing and perhaps selling your home. You'll want to be listening into my interview with downsizing and real estate expert Stephanie Cadu, and the growing popularity of sharing your inheritance while you are still alive. This topic is really hot these days. That interview is going to take place at around 4:50 p.m. All right, thank you for joining me this Sunday as we head into a Canada Day in a couple of days. Maybe you're able to squeeze out a 4-day weekend if you didn't already do so last weekend. Kind of strange, eh, when it falls on a Tuesday. Well, make a go of it and certainly enjoy. Now, you've probably all heard the phrase, there are two guarantees in life, death and taxes. Well, as we get older, there are more and more services geared towards our aging population. One trend I'm seeing working with older adults and their families is the emergence of death doulas, or sometimes known as end-of-life doulas. Kind of threw me for a loop when I first heard of that term. However, now that I know a little bit more about it and the people doing this type of work, it actually makes a lot of sense. Well, joining me on the line is Sheri Godfrey, owner of Senior Transitions. Sheri is a certified end-of-life doula, and I know Sheri through our association with Elder Care Planners of Canada. Sheri, welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks, Matt.
Well, I'm certainly happy to have you on the show. Kind of a bit of a morbid terminology, death doula, but as I mentioned before, Sheri, and I've seen it, and you're in it, it does make a lot of sense. So for our listeners, what is an end-of-life doula, or sometimes known as death doula?
Yeah, so I prefer end-of-life doula is the terminology I use. Death doula is gaining in popularity. And the way that I liken it is when I gave birth to my daughter, I had a doula, a birthing doula, and she helped me bring life into this world. She asked me what my wants were, how I wanted my birthing process to look like, and she managed the whole project, we'll say. And an end-of-life doula or death doula is the same. Instead of bringing life in, we're allowing life to leave on a beautiful note. And I believe that both aspects of life should be celebrated.
Interesting, that analogy. And now, in listening to you, it makes a lot of sense. We all are familiar with birth doulas, and this is just at the end of life with an end-of-life doula. Okay, so just explain to us, what exactly does an end-of-life doula do?
Perfect question. A lot think that we were able to talk about death. It calms some of the misconceptions around it. So let's be real. No one wants to talk about death, even though we all know it's going to come knocking on our door at some stage of the game. Just because we talk about it doesn't mean it's coming earlier. I will say that. And a death doula, unlike our medical doctors, provides more of the emotional support, the spiritual, the practical hands-on support for the individuals facing end of life. And also for the families, we're able to have really hard and heartfelt conversations during that dying process to open the gates of conversation.
Listening to Life Unrehearsed, Matt Delvecchio here, and I'm talking with Sheri Godfrey, an end-of-life doula. Interesting you say that. You're almost, I'm listening to you, and you're almost hesitant in hiring an end-of-life doula because it's like, okay, well, we're not there yet, and I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to bring bad vibes to the situation. But what you're saying is, in fact, families could benefit earlier probably in the process just because you're also providing resources and support.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So one of the cases that I had a girlfriend whose mom unexpectedly took a turn, and they had planned a big birthday party for her. So it was a milestone birthday party. She was in her 80s. All of the family is coming, and I got a message, can I hop on a call? So I hop on a call, and she said, I don't know what to do. My mom is now home for palliative care. Family is booked to come for the birthday party. What do we do now? And my first question to her seems kind of logical, but I asked her, have you asked your mom? Well, no, I don't want to talk about it. Well, your mom knows what's coming. It's no shock or surprise to her. So let's have a conversation and see what your mom wants. Is your mom okay with everybody still coming? And is she okay having a birthday party? So it's okay to celebrate a life well lived. Mom was on board. Everybody came, and my direction to them was, don't tell anyone any different. They will know when they arrive that your mom is in declining health. Let them celebrate and enjoy the party to the fullest. And midway through, make a bit of an announcement. We're super glad that you're here today to celebrate everything that represents my mom. As you can see, things are declining, and today is also a celebration of her life. It's okay to cry, but it's okay to share stories, and it's okay to have tears of joy. They recorded parts of this birthday party. They had musicians in, everything that the mom wanted. And at the end, when everybody went home, the mom looked at her daughter and said, I don't need the traditional funeral anymore. I said my goodbyes, and I'm good.
Such a great story. Really, it is. It's such, it seems to be a taboo subject when we hear about celebrations of life that is after death. And here was this situation where there was a celebration of life where mom could exactly hear what families and loved ones wanted to say. I love that story. Now, Sheri, can you explain the difference between, say, an end-of-life doula versus hospice and palliative care?
100%. So my mom currently is in year 5 of ovarian cancer, incurable ovarian cancer. And she's actually the reason that I went into to become an end-of-life doula. We anticipated that my mom would be leaving early, and I wanted to be the one to journey my mom out. Now, we're still able to live a full and happy life. My mom has now been set up with palliative care. So although she's still living well, palliative care has been brought on to mitigate the pain and the symptoms that she's having due to chemo. They've also sat and had conversations about MAID, so medically assisted induced dying, and what that would look like when chemotherapy will no longer work for my mom. So hospice or palliative are still medical teams. They're brought in to talk about the pain management and the medical side of dying. Now, a death doula can work hand in hand with hospice and hand in hand with palliative. And again, we bring along that personal and the emotional support. We ask different questions, and we make sure that their deepest desires and their needs are being met. And oftentimes can be to go between the medical and the family, just to ensure that common terms are being used, that there's an understanding and an inclusion of the full team at hand.
Makes a lot of sense, Sheri. We're already out of time. Really want to appreciate you. Thank you, first of all, because you filled in here. We had another end-of-life doula. You're from Ontario. I know you through my Association of Elder Care Planners of Canada. So let's start, first of all, if people need to reach you, how could they reach you?
So they can easily find me online, seniortransitions.solutions, or Sheri, Sheri, at sherigodfrey.ca. They can pop me an email, and happy to have a conversation just to point someone in the right direction.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sheri, for coming in. Kind of last moment. I was supposed to have Paul Simard. He was unable to make it. He is from Montreal. So for those looking for an end-of-life doula in the Montreal region, you could simply look up Paul Simard, the canoe, like the boat, Paul Simard, the canoe. Sheri, thanks so much. Great words of advice.
Thanks. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you. That's Sheri Godfrey, owner of Senior Transitions and an end-of-life doula.